Yo, what the hell's up? Welcome back to Reviews with Jake, where I just got done watching Home Team. Home Team is Happy Madison's take of the true story of Sean Payton, the head coach of the New Orleans Saints during the events of Bountygate, in which he is suspended from the NFL for an entire season and goes to help coach his son's 6th grade football team. And who's playing the first ballot Hall of Fame coach? Kevin James. Alright. Apparently all you have to do is throw a Saint shirt on the guy for 80% of the movie and voila! Sean Payton. In the flesh. But hey, this is a Happy Madison film. I mean, we're not looking for an American underdog, true story, factually accurate biopic here. So casting Kevin James as Sean Payton? Probably not going to be the biggest leap that this movie's going to take if you've ever seen a Happy Madison film before. Spoiler alert, 1000% it's not. Happy Madison films are almost always a light, good, fun time. It's always a good, shut up your brain for an hour and a half and just laugh for a little bit. Except for Click. I don't know whose ass idea it was for that movie. Crying is not what I signed up for when I pushed play on these movies. Come on. But looking at the catalog, that was definitely an outlier. I almost knew for sure that I was ready for a silly goose time when I pushed play on this movie. Granted, it is a slight bummer to find out that it was a PG film versus at least a PG-13 film. I feel like these movies are usually tailored for at least a little bit more of a threshold of that kind of crude humor, but what can you do? Well, let's start the pros right there. The comedy of this film definitely has some bright moments. There are some really clever jokes, while other times it's just downright ridiculous. The Happy Madison special. It's a very particular random ass sense of humor that everything from this production company possesses, and it's definitely here in this movie too. Granted, it's a little watered down having a PG rating, but I definitely laughed at good portions throughout this film. It obviously helps that the directors of this film, having looked at their IMDb pages before I watched the movie, have worked with Kevin James on several occasions, so they obviously have a really good rapport. So they're really good about putting him and all the other funny people in this film, including Rob Schneider, Kevin James's brother, and all the kids, frankly, into good positions to just let funny people be funny. Almost all of the performers and talent of this film have great comedic chops, great timing and delivery, a great comedic aura to them. There are many moments of this film that you can look at the script on paper and there's no guarantee that that actually is going to be funny. It's the talent that really brings the best out of it. This movie's a very light, fun, happy, feel-good time, as you expect from things from this production company, but very few of these movies make you feel anything really outside of just general smile and laughter. This particular Happy Madison film just kind of has a nice childlike innocence to it. It just makes you feel good. It actually has some pretty decent morals, at least I thought they were. I don't want to dive too deep into this to avoid spoilers. Granted, this is not a very groundbreaking story, no matter which way you look at it, but still there are moments that definitely buck the trend of the cliche of sports movies like this one, and I don't really want to spoil that surprise in case that's something you're into. It bucks those cliches and sends you off into the sunset, just being reminded of what's important in sports and in life, just appreciating the little things. However, speaking of little things, my list of cons is kind of an accumulation of a lot of really small things. There is nothing like really glaringly bad about this movie. It's just kind of one of those movies that gets taken down by a death of 1,000 paper cuts. Let's start with what I'll call Happy Madison isms, that random ass type of humor that I mentioned before. The comedic hits that are often out of nowhere, no context, insanely over the top, often really dependent on insanely stupid and cartoonish characters and situations. It's very hard to describe it, but you know when you see it. It's a very specific type of humor that you find in stuff like Family Guy or the Scary Movie franchise. Granted, I will admit some of the greatest moments of this film were Happy Madison-isms, but a lot of the times when they weren't succeeding, it just felt like a swing and a miss. This is, at its core, a 90-minute live-action cartoon, which is fine. I mean, cartoons are good, they're fun, they make you feel good. But with cartoons, you usually get some very basic story flaws. You get characters that you cannot take seriously, unearned arcs, unfeasible situations. It's just one of those movies and vibes that's very difficult for you to really take seriously, to really invest yourself into the story and the characters. You're not going to really feel much towards this movie outside of some very surface level blithe. From a technical perspective, it has an accumulation of very small minor gripes. It's got some continuity errors. You got characters positioning changing from shot to shot in an edited sequence. You also have like the first half of a big football game taking place during the day. They go to the locker room for halftime, then all of a sudden it's like pitch dark underneath the lights. Like, seems like a little drastic of a change. Then little moments like the hotel clerk playing Connect 4 with himself, yeah, that's a thing, Happy Madisonism. But you look at the game board thing, whatever, you look at that rack with the little game pieces in it, and from shot to shot when it cuts away back and forth, it's like they're in different locations, different amounts of game pieces in the thing. It's minor, it's nitpicky, but it's there. I feel like this is kind of a recurring problem with Happy Madison films because I feel like everyone on set is just having a good time. They're all just messing around, laughing, making jokes, 1,000 different takes, and it's hard to really pay attention to those minor little details from shot to shot when everyone's just having a good time. It's understandable, but it is a problem. What's a little less understandable was some audio issues that I found throughout the film. Sometimes it felt like the audio quality of people talking was not always really that great. I feel like there were several instances where a character that maybe has like a line or two in a scene, their audio's really thin, while like the really heavy hitters that have a lot of dialogue, like Kevin James, they have crystal clear audio, and there's definitely a difference between the quality. My guess is like Kevin James had a wireless lav on him the whole time, so that's why his audio is always really good, because he does a lot of talking. Then these little one-offs, so the people that barely talk a little bit, they're just like, Tim has what, 2 lines here? Don't f***ing mic, I'm just booming from across the room. All in all, this movie was pretty much exactly what I thought it was going to be. It's a very fun, light, yet very disposable time. I don't think it was quite bad enough that Sean Payton had to quit football literally the week of its release in real life, but then again, I don't think it was good enough that he had to stick around. I'm going to give Home Team a C. But that is just me. What do you guys think? Let me know if you agree or disagree in the comments below. And make sure you're subscribed to this channel to stay up to date. New videos coming real soon. Stay safe. Thanks for checking in.